Councillor Martin, you proposing the pride flag is flown in February?
Yep.
That's
No, it's
actually
not the
not
pride flag. It's a different flag, isn't it? It's not the pride flag. It's a history flag.
No, it's the pride
Is it the
flag
same
for.
flag or is it a different
No,
type
it's
of
the
flag?
same. It's the same flag.
Is it?
Same flag.
Can I just remind everyone, we did actually pass a flag policy a few months ago that actually covers that.
Yeah. Somebody stopped me in the square the other day and asked if there was any other events coinciding with flying the flag.
Right. Can I? Which question am I answering?
I didn't know somebody else had asked the question.
Well, Colin said something just as you were saying
Oh,
something.
sorry.
So
Well, I'll repeat what I said there.
Okay, I apologise.
that's fresh in my mind. Sorry, Carol. Well, that's fresh in my mind. The other events, there is the Autism Week. Whether or not.
No, anything connected with flying the flag.
Oh,
about
anything
the history
connected
of
with flying the flag.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Just
well,
to
unless the
explain
town
what
wants
it
to
is.
do something.
There's
I don't know.
nothing been organised.
That's not
No,
something for
no,
this.
no.
to do.
No, it's just
Yeah.
a question I was asked.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But
All right.
So, Colin, what were
But
you
the-
saying? Sorry.
What I was saying is that the flying of the pride flag in February is covered, and the flag's policy that we passed a few months ago.
It's not. That's why I've put it on here. No, it was only Pride Month in June.
And then it had to put requests.
Yeah,
through
so then we
to-
had to be. It was then.
I thought
Coming
it was a
in-
different flag. I thought the flag was a
There
different
was
design.
also the Pride
I
Progressive.
may
flag.
need another look at.
Too many flags.
Yeah, okay.
No, it was omitted from the policy, which is why I put it on
there
it.
because I was sure I'd put it in the policy.
No,
Okay.
but I missed it as well on the night that we were debating it, which is why I put it in
Yeah.
just as a sort of guest slot.
Yeah, I mean, anybody has the right to ask for a guest flag,
Yeah.
and then we consider whether it's appropriate or not, and do it. So,
Well, I think it was
no. This is
in terms of the positivity, regardless of the negativity.
I'm confused between Pride Week and Pride History Month. Can you help me with that?
Pride Month is the celebration.
Yeah.
Right.
Pride LGBT History Month is the celebration of the history.
Right.
And that's all of February on the flight.
Well, it's for the month. But if there's no other conflicting flags, then
And you said it wasn't conflicting with your design.
no, that follows after
Yeah,
in
that's
March.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Is this something we can push to the States? No. So we have to make a decision on that. So you're requesting the pride flag is flown for February?
For LGBT History Month, yeah.
In February?
Because we missed it off the policy, it seems,
Yeah.
and we flew it last year.
And you fly it for the first week of June as well, would you? Yeah.
It's a different part, but
Yeah, it's a
the same
different-
flag.
Yeah, it's the same flag in June, but
But it's for something different.
for something different, yeah.
So in June, the whole of June is Pride Month, and we're only flying it for the first week of June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm against it only for the reason all the problems we've had with flying pride flags anyway.
The only thing I'd say about that is it's not the flags, it's the people that are the problem.
Yeah.
But I certainly had comments, well, why was it up for so long?
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Well, this
think
is all
there was
February.
any objection to actually having it flown, but why was it up for so long?
But like I said, he wants it up for all February.
Who's he?
Sorry, Councillor Martin. How's that?
Well, it's a month. It's a month, and I think out of it flying last year, I had the chair of the DMAT Trust, which represents 27
Okay,
schools in
you
the
had a
area.
number of approvals.
What?
You had a number of expressions of support. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to know everybody who it was.
I would be all right flying for a week, but I don't know that I particularly want it up for a month.
Yeah, but is that a personal view, or
No.
what's that based on?
It's just based on the fact that all the people that were against it being up last time, that we should be looking after their interest as well as yours.
But yeah, We have an Equality Act in this country,
Yeah.
and by flying the flag for
Yeah.
a month, we are actually saying we are upholding the Equality Act
My
by
opinion.
representing this community.
I
Yeah.
For the History Month
Nobody's got anything against the principle. of
I
flying
think
the
your
flag.
opinion's
It's
valid,
whether
but
it's
so is
Yeah.
Councillor
Yeah.
Martin's, and the
I-
fact that it's for the people, which, as you said, there are people that are going to be
Yeah.
not for it, but we've got to think also of the people that we'd be supporting.
It would be good if there was some other events on with it to explain what it's all about.
That would be
Yeah.
a great idea.
I think you'll find, Mark, that one of the reasons there aren't any events is because of the outpouring of homophobia that exists in this town. And I say that,
I
Leanne.
disagree with that.
I
No,
do too.
no. Well, hang on a second.
Yeah.
When I'm making a point, the difficulty that we have in these
I know,
debates
you
and these
just said
discussions
there's
is,
a deal of homophobia in the town.
have you not read what's been on Facebook?
I don't
Did you
read
not
that.
a
read?
very small minority.
A small minority.
Anyway.
No,
Like everywhere, there's a small minority.
if I
Right.
may, no,
I have no problem.
Colin.
with it.
Make your point, please.
if
I
I
was
had a,
just
cri-
asked
if I
to
had,
ask
if
if
I
there
had a
was any other
constructive
events.
criticism of this council, it's the fact that every single time I try and speak, people jump in, and I never get to finish the thought that I'm developing. And then I'm accused of talking over everybody or shouting because I'm trying to get. You've just done it.
Just to emphasise that you do that.
Can we get back
Well,
yeah,
to
come on.
the
Let's go back to
agenda
this
item,
point.
Chair, because time is getting
Yeah,
on.
it is. It's
And that's
10
another
past 9.
example.
Right.
That's another example. The point that I'm trying to make is, Mark
Yeah, thank you.
and Alec, is that you may not know it or see it, but I certainly have, that there is a significant amount of homophobia in this town, which is why there are no events or any things related to LGBT History Month in the town, because I personally have been attacked on Facebook for even proposing it. And I don't want to keep putting myself in the crosshairs of those people.
I was going to say, if people do, then they're quite welcome to use the community centre.
Yeah, great,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, and I'm sure.
And I guess.
But I would
Yeah, and it
also
just
say that the people who are part of this community, the LGBT community in the town, have seen those comments that have been made on Facebook and have seen the stickers that were stuck on the town offices with no gays written on it, etc., etc., etc.
That was not what was on the sticker.
Anyway,
No, excuse me,
Right,
Colin,
sorry.
if I may. The clerk wrote to me and informed me that she did not see it. So how
Yes,
would
I
she
did-
know what
no,
was on it?
Excuse me, Councillor Martin. I said I did not remove it. I did not say I did not see it, but it was handed to me.
Well, I asked you that in an email and you said
Yeah.
no.
No,
So,
sorry.
anyway-
This is not.
no, I
this
was
is
only
getting-
asking if there was any other events.
You are
Okay.
requesting that
The point that I'm making was about the homophobia in the town. So in response to what you were saying, Mark, people aren't coming forward to say, oh, let's have a Pride event or let's do something for LGBT History Month, because the town has got a problem with homophobia.
Which
And they are
this-
fearful of coming out and saying
which this
anything as a
council
consequence.
That's a
if-
Can we
shame,
get back
because-
to
yeah,
the agenda
The
item?
agenda item is
Oh,
you're
yes,
requesting.
So the agenda, going back to the agenda, the point about flying the flag is, if you keep flying the flag, you identify the fact that this town is more tolerant, it is more accepting, it is more open, it is more progressive, it is more in line with the Equalities Act and inviting people to celebrate the diversity that exists in this town. And that is why I'm asking for us to fly the flag again in February, as we did last year, because there was an enormous number of people that supported it, from the chair of the DMAT to the principal of the primary school,
Was-
etc., etc., etc.
Right.
Could
So
we,
you're-
Sarah,
yeah.
could I know what say? You had something to say again, Sarah? Didn't you?
Yeah, from an observer in the town, I don't think people are against the pride flag or there's homophobia. I think it was more because there wasn't any information with it. So it was just the flag. It was left there for a long period of time. That's probably where questions were raised. I have a lot of friends within the LGBT community in town. I would say that there isn't homophobia. within North Taunton. I think there is ignorance with some people, and there is a difference. I think from a council perspective, what might be worth looking at is other celebrations, not just Pride. There's a lot of focus on Pride. There are other celebrations, Neurodiversity Week. We've got Carers Week. I work within diversity and inclusion, and I'm happy to provide a calendar of events through the year that are supported by flags. I think then there might be a bit more acceptance to not just the Pride flag, but when there's nothing else being supported, then the focus is quite...
Have you read our flags policy?
I will do. I haven't,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
on
can
our
do.
website. It does specifically include certain dates when certain flags should be flown, and it does specifically cover the rainbow flag.
Yeah.
There are conditions that have to be met about where the flag is flown and whether it's on its own or and so on. And all I would like to say is that we do have a flags policy, and that flags policy does include a request for guest flags outside the regular list. Council Mark is asking, can we have the Pride flag for February? And this council has to decide whether that is appropriate and whether we're prepared to grant that. Yeah.
Chairman, you heard me say the other night that, so very briefly.
Very brief.
Very briefly. But I've heard some disgusting things said in the town about gay people following the flag being flown last year, and I think that it is time that the council stood up and said we are for equality, we are for fairness, because it wasn't very long ago that gay people were put in prison for their position. You know, not very long at all, in our lifetimes. And I think, you know, there's some history.
Well, I mean, sorry, can I just stop you there? I don't think there's any debate about whether we should fly the Pride flag or not. It's just a question of when and for how long.
Yeah, you're just going to vote on it now.
Yeah. So the proposal is...
There's no other flag wanting to be flown, is there, that month?
Sorry?
There's no request for flying any other flag?
No.
Colin?
So,
Go ahead.
Yes. I would just like to say two things. First of all, with the weather we've been having, is the flag likely to last a month? Well, that's only because the wind will probably batter anything anyway. But bearing in mind we're already on the 9th of January, if there's nothing in for February, then do it. It's not going to hurt anyone.
No.
And it will say to the town, it's Pride Month for us.
Okay.
If you Google Pride events, there's practically either a day or a week, pretty much of every month of the year, where a different council has got something going on.
Yeah.
So, if there's leaflets with a bit of history that can be left at the post office or whatever, then fine.
We need to move on and vote on this.
Yeah.
What both our members of the public said, perhaps some information, and what Mark suggests,
Yeah, it was a member of
perhaps some
Public that came up to
information
me
to
and
go with
asked.
it to show support and why the flags are there, because maybe people don't have understanding of why we're supporting it and why they're there.
Yeah.
So perhaps that could be
In
shared.
fact,
Christian?
I'm saying,
Mr. Mark.
correct me if I'm wrong, the rainbow flag was originally for freedom. And not specifically
I don't
for pride.
profess to know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Go on, you may-
I was just going to quickly
one
say,
comment. Yeah.
great what you've just said, actually, about flying other flags for other issues and other groups, etc., because that was the whole purpose behind originally flying the Pride flag, to encourage people to come forward and say, well, can we fly our flag? And can we fly our
And then we
flag?
got the autism.
And then we got the Autism Week flag. So anything that you can propose or bring would be fantastic, because we need more flags.
Maybe we need to publicise this a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Say that
maybe we do. But
Definitely.
the other thing I was going to say was, with regards to the information, perhaps if I find there is a link actually that we could put on the town council for that month on the website.
Do you have
To-
this kind of poster I could put it in the window?
Yeah, I'm sure we can find something, but I could also send you the link to put on the council website for LGBT History Month, and it takes you to a website which has all the history.
Right. Anyway, we have to make a decision, and the proposal is that we permit the flying of the Pride flag for the month of February. Could I have a proposal for that, please?
I'll propose it then.
Anybody prepared to second that? Councillor Mathis, all those in favour? Those against? Abstentions?
I just think it's too long.
Okay. Right.